Hey everybody, hope you're all well. Not actually doing a cologne review, but cologne related. What else do I do on this channel, really? I wanted to talk about my favorite notes in fragrances. I'm sure this video has been done before, but I've never done it, and I wanted to let you know what my favorite notes were. So, I have five. I'll try to keep this short, but I did want to share this with you. Yeah, I'll just start at the top. And these aren't necessarily in a particular order, but some I do like more than others. But we'll start with number one, which is lavender. And I'll tell you, it might be my favorite. It might. Lavender, I don't know. We all know that lavender is a very calming scent. Lavender essential oil is used um, often to calm people down. It can help with stress and anxiety. It just has a very soothing effect. And I will definitely agree with that. I will, some of these oils don't necessarily do what people say they do, but lavender certainly has a calming effect on me. Lavender scented, like Epsom salt and stuff in the bath, it just makes for a very relaxing experience. And in fragrances, real lavender does not smell like your generic fake lavender in a lot of supplies, like your lavender hand soap or, like lotion or a lot of these mass-produced kind of things have this particular fake lavender smell that like I would kind of equate to like the watermelon taste you get in candy. You know how it tastes nothing like real watermelon. They're completely different. I kind of equate it to that, where it's like this kind of smooth, more perfume-like kind of smell. And real lavender, if you haven't smelled it, really doesn't smell like that. It can be sweet and floral in that sense, but it tends to be more spicy, almost spicy and masculine, really, which is why it's used in a lot of men's colognes at the top, because it just has a spicy, masculine sort of smell. Now, obviously, it can be used for women's perfumes too, of course, but I think that's why they use them in men's colognes. And I love that spiciness. That's really like, I don't know. It's just so, get your nose on some real lavender if you haven't. Although if you're watching this video on my channel, you've probably smelled real lavender and or a replica of such in your colognes. Number two is sandalwood. And sandalwood is because, well, for one, I love the smell of a lot of woods. Cedar wood is probably my favorite overall wood, but in colognes, it's probably sandalwood because it really reminds me of that barbershop kind of thing. Now, I know with a lot of people, the spiciness and those sort of things, the leather perhaps, more remind them of barbershop colognes, which is true, that kind of green going on. But it's the sandalwood note in those that you often find in those that I really like. And I don't know, it reminds me of my love of the smell of woods, which I know is a weird thing, but it also reminds me of my love of barbershop colognes. And, a lot of my shaving supplies and stuff are just straight sandalwood scented. So it's just a smell I really enjoy. Third would be vanilla. And I talk about this a lot. In colognes, vanilla can always go a couple different ways. It can be really overly sweet and like confectionery, which I don't hate all the time, but I tend to not really care for that. It can be very powdery, and not necessarily saying the actual vanilla itself is perhaps smelling like this. It's the way it's combined with other ingredients and things. But yeah, it can come off kind of powdery in some colognes. Like, I'm trying to think, but I'm really drawing a blank here, sorry. But there are definitely some colognes I own and that I've smelled that have that powdery vanilla going on, which I don't really like. I mean, occasionally, but a lot of times it leans itself kind of in the baby powder route. The way I really like vanilla in my colognes is that sort of creamy, baked goods kind of vibe. It's sweet, but it's not sweet where you're like nauseated, and it's that baked goods smell. It's ambery and rich. One cologne I own that does it so perfectly is Amberland by Happyland Studios, which is just rich amber with a little bit of citrus in it, but it has just a beautiful, really rich ambery sort of vanilla, and it's just really, it's excellent for like fall and stuff. What was that, three? Let's do four. I'm gonna forget. Oh, four. Patchouli. A lot of people don't like patchouli because it's associated with hippies, and it can, dirty hippie smell. But patchouli can go different ways. Patchouli is, I guess, a little bit maligned. It's not always the dirty hippie thing. Of course, it can go that way. And I'll be honest, I don't really mind that smell. The hippie kind of patchouli smell. I think it smells good, but it can be a little sweet sometimes. It can be a little dirty, and I really, with patchouli, I don't mind either way. That I don't know why I like that smell. I like things like Nag Champa, which isn't patchouli, but like those hippie sort of smells. I love those. I'm not a hippie. I just like the way they smell. Yeah, but like a cologne, like I'm trying to think, like uh, Cuba Prestige, which is basically Angel Men, has a sweet sort of patchouli smell that I like, and then another one like Narciso Rodriguez for him has more of a dirty, earthy patchouli, and I still love that. So that's a good one. And then number five would be pine. I love the Christmas tree smell. I love the evergreen pine smell. I love the forest. I love going. It's one of my favorite places to be. I love the smell of the trees and everything. So pine, always, always love it. I don't get it that much in colognes. It's not really used. I don't think it's used a lot, to be honest. It's certainly not in any of the colognes that I own, which is a shame. The last cologne I tried that had it was Walled by Euphorium Brooklyn. I've reviewed that if you want to check that out. Beautiful pine forest smell, but it happens rarely. I do have some pine oil that I like to use from time to time, but that's one that I gotta find some more colognes with it in. Let me know if you know any. And then that was five, but I have one more, kind of a bonus, because it's not really in any colognes. It's the smell of bluebell flowers. Now, I've only smelled this in one thing. I had a hand soap at my friend's house I smelled years ago, and it just smelled amazing. And it reminded me of a camp I used to go to when I was a kid. That scent memory thing kicked in. Had to be the same sort of bluebell soap or something. It was Mrs. Meyer's. So I said, that smells awesome. So I went and got some of the Mrs. Meyer's hand soap. That's the bluebell smell, which ironically, you cannot find very easily. I mean, Mrs. Meyer's is sold in every single store, but that particular scent is really hard to find. You have to like order it special online. And then he ended up getting me like the Bluebell laundry detergent for my birthday, which was like funny, but really actually an awesome gift. So that smell to me, I can't even describe it. It's kind of a sweet flower, but it's not overly sweet. It's very floral and very uplifting and bright. It's an awesome smell though. I can't find any oil to diffuse of it, or I would be diffusing it all the time. And I can't find any colognes that use it as a scent or as a note. So I don't know. I'm just gonna have to stick with my soap and my cleaning supplies for that. But that was that one. So anyways, I just thought I would do this because it'd be fun. Obviously, I want to hear what your five would be. Please, like I would love to hear that. So let me know down in the comments what your five notes would be. Anyways, I hope you guys are all well. Peace out.